This video is going to be about animated rotoscoping, so a different way of rotoscoping. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into Photoshop. If I go open and I find a video, whether it's a MOV file or whether it's an MP4 or anything like that, it should be able to be opened up in Photoshop. It will come in and it will have this. It will automatically set itself up as with a timeline. So I just need to open up the layers. So I go Window, Layers if they're not already open. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a movie file that sits here like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new blank layer. I drag it up and I put it above the video group. What I need to look for as well is if I reduce this down so I can see the whole timeline, just make sure, because sometimes what it does is it puts that layer at the end of the timeline. So I'm just going to drag that down to the beginning just so I can see it. And now I'm going to go Command Delete, and I've filled it with white. So background color is white, so Command Delete will fill it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opacity down just enough so that I can see the image underneath to be able to trace it. So you can control how much of that you see or not. So with this layer, because it's the white, it's going to sit in the background. So I'll make a new layer, and it's this one that I'm going to draw on. So I'm going to scale it right down. I'm going to zoom in, and in this case, at the moment is 1 frame. I'm going to do 12 frames per second, so I'm just going to drag it out so it takes up 2 frames. I always have the playhead at the start. I'm on my layer, and now all I need to do is with my Wacom tablet. So I've got my pen, hardness of about 86, it's on 3, it's black, and then I can start to sketch with my Wacom tablet. Blowing it up as I go to get as close as I want. Now at this stage I might decide that I want to change that pencil down a bit more, or change the colour of it up to me. So just sketching and drawing. If I switch the image off, just the eye beside it, I can start to see the drawing building up. Once I've done this one, the way that I like to work is either I can put a new layer in, and what you'll see is that if I put a new layer in, it's going to jump to the length of that white and I have to reduce it down, or I get the layer I've just done, drag it down and duplicate it, drag it across so it starts at the end of the other timeline, and then I just, making sure I'm on that layer, go Command A and I delete it. The reason I haven't seen any change here is because it always has to be where the playhead is. So make sure your playhead is in the right spot. Command A, delete, and then we'll see it's back here, and then I'm on to the next one, switch on that, and then off I go again, starting to trace. So I'm going to bring one in that I've already been working on a little bit. So I have this one, and it's got a few more layers if I switch off the video. And I'm moving a wee bit closer, then we can kind of see what's happening. And this one as well is done every second frame, and we get a wee bit more animation. Any of these layers, like if I come back to the first one, remember that you can kind of animate. Yep, so I want to be on this one, which is layer 3, and then I can scribble, paste on lightning bolts, whatever I want to do. Go to the next one, make sure the playhead's in the right place. At this stage, there's an option here where I can click on the hamburger menu and I can put enable onion skins. What that does is it shows me the layer before. So if I want to do this scribble again, or these lightning bolts, I can see how close it is to the last one. Go up to the next layer, move the playhead, and the same thing. Next one. Just always making sure that your playhead moves along so you can see exactly what you're doing. And maybe this one I'm going to change it to a colour. See what happens now. And the last frame, I'll change it back to black and white. So it's got 2 frames that have been done with colour. Now that I have all these frames done, before I save it, what I need to look at is these options down here. So I'm going to get the video, I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to scale this so that the layer that has the white on it is the same length as all the clips. So if I look up here, okay, I've got the playhead. So all of this is the same length now. This is really important if you want it to get it to come through properly in Premiere. So now I can file, save that, or save as to give it a new name. And we are going to jump into Premiere now. New project, HDV, that's what I'm after. Yeah, it can replace whatever's there. Then I go File, New, Sequence, HDV 1080p24 under here, that's what we're after. I'll hit OK. With this, I'm on Assembly. That's the one I like to be on for a start. I'll go to Project. The windows are a bit easier to start with before I get into the editing. I double click, find the image that I'm after, import it. It's going to come up saying, do I want a sequence, which I do. They're all selected. I'll go OK. This time when I flick the folder open, instead of bringing in all these layers, I'm going to bring in the sequence. I can drop it up here, or I can drop it on the timeline. It'll come up with this that says, do I want to, the clip doesn't match, do I want to change the sequence to match the clip settings? No, I want to keep the settings that are in here, and the clip can change. So I'll pull these sliders in so I can see everything. Now when I drag through here, I'm going to get those changes. If I can control click on the clip, there's an option here that says unlink, and that will separate there. So I can click on the audio and just get rid of the audio. So once I have this here, like if I wanted to go in, I could double click on the sequence and it will take me into this area with all the layers. It's a little bit hard to see at the moment. I can close that and go back to the sequence, and that's because I need to chuck a white background in. If I rendered it at the moment, this transparency would come out black. So if I move it up one layer, I can come in here now and I can go File, New, and what I'm going to make is a colored matte. Yeah, this is the same size and frame rate, so that's all good. Now I'm just going to RGB. I know if I put in 255 for all of these, that's going to be pure white. I can give it a name if I want. At the moment it's just colored matte. If I go OK, it's because it comes up here. So then I have to drag it and drop it in. Also I need to extend it out so it's the same length as that clip. Now I'm going to see everything that's in there. So now when I'm happy with what I've got, I'll go File, Export, Media. This is going to bring up a whole lot of options here. Make the window a little bit smaller so you can see it all. So H.264, that's what I want. That's the MPEG-4 option. Where it's going, if I click on this, what it's going to be called and where it's going to save it. I'm going to leave it as sequence, but I'm going to drop it in the right folder. I'll save that. There's no audio, but I'll switch off the audio. The main options down here is when we get to the video, and maybe I need to pull this window down a wee bit so we can see it. The main thing with the video here is this bit here where it says match source, but it has the size, and at the moment it says 1080 by 1440, so 1080 by 1440, but that's exactly what I want. So there's nothing there that I need to change. So down the bottom here, I'm going to go Q. When I go Q, it's going to open up something that's called the media encoder, and it comes up here. So it'll open this program. This is just the way that it renders now. The same with After Effects. So all of this should be set. It's in this stage that I can change it for cell phone or web or anything like that. I know where it's going to go. Play it. It says ready here. So I just click play. And it's going to go through rendering it and showing me the options there. So that's all done. So I'm going to go to QuickTime. This is actually the other one that I had in there. So if I play this so you can have a look at it, that's the kind of imagery that you're going to get. So let's bring in the one that has just been made. I'll leave it at that size actually, and I'm going to put it on loop. Let's play it and have a look. So you can see because it's 12 frames per second rather than 24, you still get this kind of smooth animation, but it's got a little bit of kind of animated gesture to it, especially when you're looking at these elements out here. With the figure, it looks fine. It's easily smooth enough. Some of these other things become a bit jittery, but that's part of the quality of it.